welcome back. We're looking at how artists use themselves in their paintings and how when they do, they're not just showing us who they are, but a little bit about who we all are. At a recent exhibition of self-portraits in Karachi, some artists made some interesting observations on how we like to present ourselves to the world and what kind of impressions we hope to make. For instance, Nosheen Saeed's piece called Handle with Care seems to tell us not to be deceived by first appearances because people can be lugging around a lot more on the inside than they tend to show on the outside.
I think the pun was intended in the title, Handle with Care, because she's sort of transformed herself into a luggage, a sort of a carrier, a suitcase. And then the fact that she's also a woman, and you know how you are sensitive as a woman, and whether it's emotional or physical, there is that element of, you know, being handled with care and not being hurt, or the fragility of being feminine. And yet a carrier is a protective sort of a cover, you know. It's something that's strong and it's meant to hold delicate items. I think it's interesting the way Nosheen has, not only in this piece but also in works that she's done before this, sort of transformed the body, the nude, into becoming something else.
Other artists like Ayaz Jokyo explored ideas of homogeny. Jokyo sketched out a self-portrait filling in everything except his hair, and then distributed copies of it to over 500 people, inviting them to sketch on it, perhaps implying the extent to which it's only what we put on the surface that differentiates us from each other.
It's interesting because it's called Muh mein aahi tu, which roughly translates into that you are in my face. And I think that's what each piece does, that he becomes Einstein, he becomes Amitabh Bachchan, he becomes Stalin, you know, and just by changing the facial hair, you become someone else. So I think most of us are actually made up of people around us, you know. We start speaking like someone because we hang out with them, we dress up like people we associate with. But, you know, I think that really does happen, that you are a number of people all put together.
And although Ayaz's work seems to talk about fitting in, there's some self-portraits that'll show you just how much an artist stands apart from the crowd. The self-portrait often acts as a window into their lives, a window through which they can reveal a personal dilemma. For instance, Van Gogh's self-portrait featuring his bandaged ear might not seem significant, but if you examine his life and circumstances, you find that it speaks of the pain he was going through that made him cut off his ear and send it to his love interest. Similarly, one of Samarzedy's pieces reveals an inner struggle, allowing viewers a glimpse into something private and potentially embarrassing.
Actually, I have portrayed my state of mind in all of my painting. It may show the thought I was going through, or the confusion, the dilemma I was going through.
This work is by Samarzedy. It's called 7 o'clock. I think it's also a reference to the 7 o'clock disposable razors and 7 o'clock in the morning, when, you know, there is like this habit formation of waking up, washing your face and then shaving. She is speaking about the stereotypes which are associated with beauty and how a woman has to be hairless and has to look a certain way.
I think it's the state of mind I was in. I was all worried about my looks, about my, you know, the presentation, the way I present myself. I think it was all about that at that time, because my mother was quite worried, okay, if she's going to get married or not. Because of, as I'm painter, people may have a lot of, you know, dubious thoughts. Okay, she's painter, she's quite liberal and all this. So this is how I just showed my anger through my hair, or maybe a single problem of mine. It may not tell you the whole story, but it may tell half of it.
The thing that I personally enjoy in this piece is also the contrast between the masculinity and femininity, because she's really taken care of the details as well. She is wearing red nail polish. The razor is blue. So just that play of symbolism and color also just makes it subliminally really attractive. I think it's also really quirky putting up something so personal in a gallery space and then people coming and not looking at a third person but looking at you shaving your face.
And while people were somewhat mystified by Summer's paintings, thinking that they commented on some sort of gender confusion, the artist was actually depicting her struggle with hirsutism. And when artists let people into this private space, it not only helps them to come to terms with their problems, but also reaches out to others who might share the same concerns, encouraging them to bring them out into the open.
When you are making a piece, your work is private and public at the same time because you are going to put it up for an audience and the audience is going to read into it. They will sort of use their own experiences to understand your work. So yeah, you do start with the private, but it cannot just be the private ever.
After portraying your problem into a painting or showing it to the people, I think this is how you get to know, okay, fine. It's okay to have problems. It's okay to have hair on your face. It's fine then.
We're due for another quick break, but on the other side, we move on from private issues to public ones by looking at two artists who've used themselves to reveal a bigger picture. Stay with us.